whispering to me when she said the wide variety? Were you whispering to me when you said the wide variety of people?
Well, not specifically, but it struck me.
Well, she just wanted to, you know, soften you guys up, because I am different. I am strange and odd and weird. It's actually my story about somebody like that. Anyway, my name's Rachel Crosby. I'm working on my first ever novel. It's called Nature's Burden. I'm working on it for about 10 months. It's hard, but it's wonderful. I don't know if anybody here, other than the writers group, has tried to write anything of length, but it's a joy once you get rolling. And I would advise anybody to try it, and only for the joy of it. At any rate, I want to give you a brief introduction to the characters in the novel, and especially the two that will be interacting in the piece I read. One is Faye Bloomberg. She's a 39-year-old Cape Cod High School English teacher. She's been teaching for about 10 years. She's a bit of a rebel, but basically shy, introverted, and a bookworm. She loves reading fantasy novels and bodice rippers, loves role-playing, and sometimes talks in foreign accents, much to the surprise of her listeners. I don't do that, though, not often. Yearns for more exciting life, but never quite makes a leap, except when having sex with her boyfriend, Drake Hirschfield. Faye becomes involved in the life of one of her students, Ariella Cardona, and begins to make real changes. Ariella Cardona is 15 years old, completely homeschooled until this year when she insisted on going to the public high school. She lives with her mother in an ancient cottage deep in the Punkhorn. I'm sure everybody knows where the Punkhorn is and how easy it is to get lost in the woods back there. She wears old-fashioned black patent leather Mary Jane shoes with white ankle socks to school, along with a skirt or dress that is invariably full and bell-like and falls below her knees. When the weather is cold, she has a demure white cardigan draped over her shoulders. Ariella's thick, long, reddish blonde hair is her best feature, after her astonishing green eyes. But her makeup is unexpected. A startling pale foundation, reminiscent of kabuki actors, with poppy red clownish rouge spots on her cheeks, bright pink on her lips, mascara dot beauty marks above both corners of her mouth, and pastel color on her lids that coordinate with her blouse or dress. So imagine this kid going to a public high school. One Friday when Faye is proctoring an exam, she accompanies Ariella to the bathroom and discovers long red welts on the back of the girl's thighs. Ariella is reticent about explaining, so Faye winds up going to visit her at the cottage in the Punkhorn. Ariella's mom, Callista, is an actress, model, and herbalist, and convinces Faye to let Ariella stay with her the next weekend while Callista goes to LA. So that's the setting, that's the basics. In the part I'm going to read to you, a lot has happened, but Faye is at school. It's, I think it's a Wednesday or Thursday afternoon. It's after school, she's in her classroom, and Ariella comes dancing in. They're preparing for the big weekend, which is going to occur in 2 days. "Hey you," Faye said, smiling. "You look happy. Are you excited about the weekend?" "Totally," Ariella said with another twirl. "It's going to be so mythical, Mrs. B." "You know, Ariella, you can call me Faye when it's just the two of us, but not when anyone from school is around." "Okay, Faye, whatever you say, Faye. I'll do it your way, all day, every day." Faye couldn't help it. She burst out laughing. The girl was adorable. Delighted, Ariella adopted a formal pose like an old-time orator. One hand held out in front of her, palm up and the other on her hip. "I'm a poet and don't know it, but my feet shook because they're Longfellows." She did a quick shuffle step, looking down at her Mary Janes. "Ariella, you're too much. I'm so glad we're going to get to know each other." The girl did a little hip-hop move and changed her stance to one reminiscent of a rapper. She gave a mock scowl, her voice deepened, grew raspy, and she began to chant. "I know a girl named Risque Faye who loves to play and play, but she don't play no croquet and she don't eat no souffle. She ain't going to work for the CIA and she ain't going to join the KKK. No, my girl Faye's cool as Beyonce. And I say, okay, hooray. She loves her Edna St. Vive Malay, a poet from the US of A, and Emily D is two-way okay." Ariella was gesturing with her hands like rappers Faye had seen on MTV. You know how they do that kind of stuff. Faye wondered what the hand gestures meant. She remembered reading something about certain hand signs having a connection to the Illuminati, an old secret society that was still reputed to rule the world by influeing governance and culture. She reminded herself to Google rapper hand signs and to ask Ariella to explain more about her family's beliefs. And then Ariella goes on. To her, it's all just child's play, like going to a soiree and eating raspberry sorbet. She's the one who points the way, and she's the one I will obey. If I don't listen to what she say, I know I'll have to pay or maybe get sent far away to Guadalupe, Uruguay, or even Passe, Bombay. Ariella stopped, the pink of her face showing beneath the pasty makeup. Faye clapped and hooted like she was at a rock concert. Wow, Ariel, I don't know what to say except that was awesome. Did you make that all up on the spot or what? The girl's eyes were glowing and Faye realized Ariella probably didn't have anyone with whom to goof off and just be silly. Callista, that's Ariella's mom, did not seem the type to appreciate a cool rap, and Faye doubted that Ariella had too many close friends from school. Maybe there were punkhorn kids for her to hang out with, but given their isolated location, Faye doubted it. I've been working on it all week, Faye. I just knew you would appreciate it. I even more rap lines if you want to hear them. Let's wait for the weekend, okay? Maybe we can do a duet or something. Ariella nodded, clapped her hands and spun around once more and sat down at a nearby desk. What else are we going to do this weekend? Can we go to the mall? Can we go out dancing? Faye held up her hands. Whoa, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Why don't we just spend Friday night hanging out, just us girls, and we can plan what we'll do on Saturday. I'm sure there will be plenty of places we can go to have fun. And you remember Cyndi Lauper? You know us girls just want to have fun. Faye giggled like she was 16. Was that a song on her album, She's So Unusual? The one that had all the hits? Ariel asked, her face now still and serious. Yes, I think so. I think there was even a song on it called He's So Unusual or She's So Unusual. Ariella frowned and looked down at the floor. Some of the kids at school sing that when I walk by. Faye was surprised. She didn't think Ariella was at all fazed by what the other students said or thought about her. Well, you know, Cyndi was really celebrating people who were different. She, herself, was pretty unusual for her time back in the mid-1980s. I'd be flattered if I was compared to her. Yeah, I know I appear different on the outside, but I sometimes think I'm not so different on the inside. Faye stared at Ariella, further surprised by the girl's apparent vulnerability. Was it possible she was more insecure than Faye imagined? If you think you are more ordinary than you appear, why do you go to so much trouble with the way you dress and do your makeup? Isn't it easier to just try and fit in by dressing like everyone else? Ariella looked at Faye for a moment, then said, I have to dress this way and act different when I'm at school. It's part of my training. Your training? For what? To be an actress like your mom or something? No, not exactly. It's for my future work with the nature spirits. Ariella grabbed her backpack and turned to go. I've got to Zoom if I want to catch my ride. I'll tell you more this weekend. And she started for the door. Ariella, wait. I wanted to ask you about your cats. Your mom said you were going to bring some with you and I was wondering how many. By the way, I think I met 2 of them the other night. Oh yeah, Fog and Leaf. They liked you and they checked out my room at your house too. Fog and Leaf? Of course. Fog is gray and Leaf is orange, right? Yep, they're pals and they go everywhere together. Do you like them? Well, I was kind of spaced out the evening. They hung out with me on the deck, though I guess I gave them some tuna. And the next morning, I think I must have surprised them in the guest bedroom. The one that'll be your room. They seem to disappear, which is pretty unusual. How did they do that? Ariella paused, a small frown on her face. It's kind of complicated. Can I tell you on the weekend?